Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another tutorial on how to do some candy. And pretty much what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be showing you guys how to make couple cuffs. They're also called lover cuffs, or pretty much just regular hand cuffs, as some people would call them, but I call them couple cuffs. And pretty much these are pretty much designed for a couple, whoever you might be dating pretty much, or like people that are a cute couple and you want to make something for them. And this is pretty much what it's going to look like when it's done. Obviously I don't have a partner here, so unfortunately I can't exactly put this on them, but this is pretty much what it's going to look like. Obviously the design could go ahead and vary depending on what you want to make it as, but yeah, let's go ahead and just jump into it. Now that we're going to go ahead and start, you want to go ahead and get Stretchy elastic string. This is the one that I use. I know I'm going to put this in all my videos because people always seem to be confused on what kind of string to get. Do not get that see-through string, and do not get any of them that is not elastic. You want to make sure that it's nice and stretchy, or else your creation will get destroyed. You want a pair of scissors. Obviously you're gonna, optional for this one, you might want a container just to put your beads out. Some people like to put their beads on there. I do when I make big projects. I don't really think I'm gonna need it for this one though. And on top of that too, you need at least 2 different types of beads. Obviously I have a lot more here on the side that you guys can't see, but yeah. Now let's go ahead and just jump into the creation of it. So when you go ahead and start making these, you have to go ahead and just think of your wrist size for candy. For example, my wrist is a 32 due to the fact that it's a 32, and candy, like beaded around, I'm gonna go ahead and make my side anywhere from a 34 to about a 38, just because I want to make sure I have a little bit of a gap, because obviously it's a 32 right here, but it's not a 32 over here, and this is probably gonna be a bigger piece. And so right here I do have a total of 38. My wrist size is a 32, but I made it a 38 just to make it give me a little bit more leverage. And you're pretty much going to go ahead and tie it just like you would a normal cuff, and just make sure that you have like a little bit of slack to it as well. And I went ahead and gave it a triple knot because I would rather it be secured than not. Pretty much what you're going to end up doing is just making this like a normal cuff. Obviously it's going to be pretty easy to do, but the real tedious part is just kind of just going through it, and mainly just trying to get to the midpoint. When you're halfway through the cuff, that's where you want to go ahead and stop. Another thing I should probably mention, which I'm not 100% sure if I mentioned it or not, but make sure to give yourself enough slack when you do it during the first one and the second one. And obviously it's going to look like this. It's going to kind of look like it's going up in the air, but when you go ahead and put more beads on it, pretty much it will start to stand up. And I'm going to go ahead and see if I could get enough on there so you guys can see it standing. I think the 4 I have right now should be enough. But yeah, this is pretty much what it's going to look like on this side once it starts to stand up, compared to it like all like looking like a sun. And so once you get to the halfway point, obviously you're going to be halfway on the beads, and as you guys can kind of see, we're like half on one side and the other half is left blank. That's what you want to go ahead and do, and leave it like that. And pretty much you're going to want to work on your second cuff. Leave the first cuff as is. And keep in mind too, like when I did explain to you guys, pretty much you want to make sure that the first cuff that you're making is going to be for you. Make sure it's going to be your wrist size plus about 4 to 8, just to be nice and safe. And then after that, when you make the second cuff, you got to think about the person you're giving it to. Are they a big, do they have a big wrist size? Do they have a small wrist size? And if they do have a small wrist size, just go ahead and go with the same thing. Try to figure out what the wrist size is, whether it's like a 32, it could be a 40, it could be literally a 28, and then go ahead and just add 4 to 8 from the total. And just like the last cuff too, you're gonna go until you get to the halfway point of actually finishing the cuff. And so pretty much once you finish the second one, you're pretty much gonna go ahead and do the mid part. Obviously this is probably going to be one of the more complicated steps to this, because you kind of have to find the right amount of space that you want. Like for example, this one has a total of 2 outlines, and pretty much when I say outlines, each one's connected by a black dot. I don't know if you guys could see that. I feel like you guys can. But pretty much we have one here, one here, one here, and we have 2 outlines right here connecting the both. And so pretty much this is going to be the one where you guys kind of decide what you guys actually want to put. Usually what I like to do is I like to put about like 2 to about 5 in total. I think this one we're going to go ahead and use 5. Usually you want to put 5 beads in between each one, but I don't really exactly have another color in here that I've used. Kind of like this one, how there's like multiple different types of colors. So I think I'm going to go ahead and potentially do a total of 6 per shift. And this is going to be 1. So right here, I do have a total of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different sets. And when you're done right here, right, you're gonna want to top it off with whatever your ending bead is. For mine, it's gonna be black, as you guys can see, black, 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 black. And pretty much the ending bead usually corresponds to the ones that kind of outline the entire design. For example, the black outline right here on this little heart. And once you're here, this is where it's gonna get a little tricky. You're gonna go ahead and tie it to right here where you just pretty much stopped completely doing it. And you know how you go over, under on the beads, like for example right here, it's over, under, over. You're gonna go under the starting bead, which is gonna be this one right here. I'm gonna put it in, if it lets me. Oh my, there we go. And then you're just gonna go ahead and pull. And then right there, you do have the end result of pretty much the entire set. And you're gonna have 2 strings coming out of it, but don't even worry about it. From here on, you're just going to continue the pattern on this blue one for 1 set, and then you'll go ahead and work on this side after. So let me go ahead and finish this real quickly. So pretty much once you finish the row, right, it's going to pretty much hold steady like this. And once you do that, now you can go ahead and work on the opposite side on pretty much the bigger one, the one that was meant for me. For you guys, it'll probably be meant for you because usually you start off with your own wrist. And for this one, you're going to do the exact same pattern, just opposite, but instead of you adding a new black bead, you're going to go in through the black bead, or for you guys, just whichever is your holding point. So I'm going to go through this one right here, pull the string, and I'm going to go ahead and make the exact same 6 total beads there, but I'm just going to do the opposite colors just because I wasn't exactly using too many different colors, so I'm going to be a little bit creative with this. And once you get your 6 beads, obviously for you guys, it could be anywhere from 6 to 5. You're going to go in through the next black bead, which is going to be the next connector. And you're just going to pull, and it's going to look a little something like this. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. And once you go ahead and connect it to the last bead, you're going to pretty much go ahead and do another layer on this side so it holds steady. So pretty much once you finish the row on the opposite cup, you're going to go ahead and hold it up and just make sure that when you do this, like go up and down, just bounce it a little bit. And you don't see any like defects, like it's going to get loose at all. And from this part, you guys could see the 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with all the intersect points right here. And then pretty much once you get to this point and you don't see any issues with this, you could pretty much go ahead and continue to go ahead and finish off the cuffs. When you finish it, this is what it's going to look like. Final product right here. A little bit longer than the original one I made, but pretty much this is it. And definitely when you go ahead and put it on, you can put it on any arm. Just make sure that it's able to fit. This one's a little bit more on a tighter fit because my hand's a little bit wider than my actual wrist is and right here. But it does fit. And so I'm going to just go ahead and go over everything once again, just so you guys kind of have everything set up. Pretty much you guys want to make sure you guys have elastical string because this is going to be a very major part, because when you walk through the crowd, this middle part can break, but if it's elastic, it won't break as easy. Another thing is make sure you have your scissors, make sure you have your tray. If you are using a tray, some people like to use trays for bigger projects. This isn't really that big, but I did end up using it. And make sure to have beads. On top of that too, when you go ahead and start the project, remember to go halfways on the cuff. Once you get to the halfway point, you're going to go ahead and pretty much make your little wire. And I'm not even sure if I can make this. Yeah, let's see if I could show you guys how this goes. You guys see how it's wrapped around the bead right there? So it goes over, under. It's kind of like the same way that you guys do regular cuffs, over, under. You go over and under, and pretty much you can continue it and finish off the cuffs. And there is another method to do it too. It's a safer method. It's not really one that I do because I find that the safer method usually breaks a lot more, but the cuffs will stay intact if you use the safer methods. Is if you do the 2 cuffs and then you just add the string after. But pretty much when you do that, the string for some reason has a higher tendency of breaking, like right here. Like if the party moves too far away from each other, then unfortunately it will break. But usually it doesn't break like this for some reason. I'm not even sure why. But yeah, that's pretty much how you do it, guys. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And we'll see you guys on the next one. So then, take care.